I've talked about stuff like this frequently on this channel about these, Middle Eastern dictators who announce all these projects that they never finish. That line city that's just going to be a very narrow straight line city for like 150 miles. Then, there's they didn't finish the Jeddah Tower, but then they announced another one. They announced a $500 billion ski resort in the middle of the desert. They said that they're gonna power the city via satellite, completely power the city with satellites, and that technology doesn't exist. And now we have the Saudi Crown Prince MBS announcing yet another insanely ambitious giga project, which of course they won't complete. Why? Well, what is it? Macab will be a 400-meter tall hollow cube skyscraper so large that it will hold 20 Empire State Buildings in it. And of course, the question is why? For what, man? What like again, it's not just Saudi Arabia, but Dubai does this, Qatar does that. I mean, all of these dictator countries do this. This is what dictators often do, and you can't necessarily tell them no. When of course they should be investing in their citizens and investing in jobs, but of course that would take away from the iron grip that they have over the country. But this, this stuff like this, they're going to look back because again, Saudi Arabia has had decades to really, really diversify their economy, and they haven't done it. And they're building stuff like this, which again, like one, they're not going to finish it. They've announced literally at this point in the last 6 months, less than that, I have come across literally trillions, a couple of $1 trillion, over $2 trillion worth of mega projects just from Saudi Arabia. And it's like, y'all aren't going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like that line city would literally take decades to complete. What up, Steven? What up, Steven? Appreciate you being in here. Peace to you as well. But again, it's like we're going to build a giant cube that can fit 20 Empire State Buildings. Like, who thinks of shit like this? Who, this is the type of stuff you do when you're born into way too much power and wealth. And I mean, again, who's going to tell this guy no? It looks like there is no stopping Saudi Arabia from becoming the most spectacular futuristic destination in the world. Well, they are stopping themselves from doing it because they're not going to build these things. And again, who cares if you build all these giant skyscrapers and these, immensely expensive projects? Who cares if your citizens don't have any freedom or if they don't really have a lot of job opportunities? If there aren't diverse industries there, like, I mean, it might make people want to come visit for a weekend, but you got to make people want to move to your country. People need to want to live there. And don't nobody want to live here. Don't nobody want to, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it has to do with the governmental structure of the countries. There's not much to do there. And instead of really investing in a way that makes sense, we're gonna build a 400-meter tall hollow cube that can fit 20 Empire State Buildings in it. I mean, that's literally like, like a sesh like this, like you're just smoking and you're like, oh, I know. It's just like, it's really crazy. But again, when you have too much power, this is the type of stuff you do. So let's see. With incredible mega projects like the line, which we've covered, which is ridiculous and not going to be completed, they're not going to do that. They fake started building it, but they're not going to complete that. And more already in the pipeline, a 400-meter high cube-shaped skyscraper named Macab is gearing up to be an attention grabber in Murabba. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Downtown Riyadh. The massive 19 square kilometer district of Murab will transform downtown Riyadh through the building of a unique living, working, an entertainment experience. It will offer a whopping 25 million square meters of floor area and create 104,000 homes. So people need to move into this and the line. This isn't happening. Again, and they're gonna make a $500 billion ski resort in the middle of the desert. It's like, bruh, like people don't. That's not gonna make people care about your country the way you think it will. People wanting to move there is what's going to make them care about it. being in an environment where they feel safe, where they feel like they have opportunities of a variety of different kinds. Like people will much quicker go to like Colombia or somewhere in South America where there's more resources and maybe a bit, the economy isn't controlled by dictators before they go to the middle of the desert just so they can see some, big ass building that nobody needs. Like, you know, MBS will leave no stone unturned to turn this ginormous structure into a digital and virtual world augmented by a sea of holographic whether I guess they left a word out there. Whether you wish to live on Mars or Pandora, everything is possible, including stunning destinations on planet Earth. Like, what is this? What is this? Inside the macabre. Like, what? It's man, dictators, man. They really live. They live in another world, man. They really live in a totally different world.